Welcome to FBB Forum. If you like this content, please be sure to like and subscribe to the FBB Forum YouTube channel and Instagram page. I'm very pleased to welcome the stunning IFBB Pro women's physique competitor, Sam Emery, to the podcast. Sam just competed at the Pittsburgh Pro show this past Friday, May 10th, where she placed third and really looked amazing. And she made her pro debut last year at the Ben Weider Naturals competition. Stay tuned to find out where she's going to compete next. Sam also has an unusual profession, and we'll get into that in a little bit more detail later. Welcome, Sam. It's great to have you here. Thank you so much for joining me.
Well, thank you so much for having me. This is my first podcast, so this is fantastic.
Oh, it is your first podcast? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep.
Oh, that's cool. Now that you've done Pittsburgh Pro, I think your name's getting out there more. So I think people are going to want to learn more about you for sure.
Which is exciting. Like, this is a whole new world for me.
Oh yeah, that's the Jim Manion show. I mean, that's a big deal right there, doing Pittsburgh Pro. Now I was curious, did you have an athletic or a sports background before you started in bodybuilding?
So all through high school, I played literally every sport. Wrestling was like my favorite sport. I used to compete in rodeos. I grew up on a farm, used to train horses. So it was like, I was always active, and I just loved moving, lifting heavy weights, just being one of the guys, more or less.
That's great.
But
Grow in rural area in Canada? Because you're from Canada.
Yep. So I grew up in a small town called Cayuga. I'm going to say about an hour south of Toronto, because everyone knows where, like, that's like the landmark, I guess, Toronto. So, and I currently live about 45 minutes south of Toronto in a little, I call it a big city, but it's called Hamilton. It's the Steel City.
Yes. Oh, I know Hamilton. Yeah, that's a cool city. That's very cool. Now I was curious, how did you get started in bodybuilding, and who convinced you to do your first contest?
So back in 2008, I was living in another little town, Brantford, and I was just joining a new career. And this one guy that came up to me, his name is Rudy. He said, "You know what? You see me in the gym training." He's like, "You know what? You would do very well competing. You should consider it." And so I'm like, "Okay." And so I did. And it turns out now Rudy is the head judge for the CPA. And every time I see him, I have to give him the biggest hug. Like, he is such a great person, and like anything that he says, like, I take with a grain of salt, because he's been doing it for so long, and he's such like a down to earth person, and like it makes doing like competing welcoming to anyone. Doesn't matter, like, first time or your 100th time. He's just there supporting you.
That's terrific. That sounds like a really good guy. And CPA is Canadian Physique Alliance, I think, right?
Yes. So like that would be our version of the NPC.
Yeah, that's cool. Very cool. Um, the I was thinking for Americans, they're thinking CPA is like a certified public accountant. So we gotta
Oh,
clarify.
yes. We also have that here, but different.
That's so cool that he convinced you to do your first contest. Now you said you took a break, like 15-year break in competing?
Yep. So I did 7 shows, not all through. It was at the time, the CPA was known as the OPA, Ontario Physique Alliance.
Mm-hmm.
And I did the IDFA, I think UFE, SAF. They're all these like smaller organizations. I don't even know if those ones are still around. But then I took 15 years off. I was still training in the gym all the time, but not to the extent that I am now.
Mm-hmm.
Just to focus on like work, life, that kind of stuff. And then I end up moving back to Hamilton, and I joined this gym in Burlington, Pure Muscle and Fitness. It's known as the Mecca of the North. Like, if you're from Canada, you know what this gym is. People from the States come and train there. I know a guy, he he lives in Buffalo, and he drives up on the weekend. He's known as the Weekend Warrior. Alex Webb,
Wow.
fantastic. Like, and he is a big boy. Like, I can see him getting his pro card either this year, well, hopefully this year because he looks fantastic, but soon for him. But he
That's,
drives up to train on the weekends.
wow, that's terrific. What's the name of it again?
Pure Muscle and Fitness.
Pure Muscle and Fitness. Very cool.
And when I was there, I ended up hooking up with Antoine Valliant. He's an IFBB Pro. He's done the Olympia, and
Yeah,
I just admired him, like his whole story of overcoming, and he's just like the most. He's a big boy. He's one of like the heavyweight bodybuilders, but he
yeah, he's
is the
big.
most.
Yeah,
He's like the most approachable, nicest guy. It's like Quentin, who he'll be doing the New York Pro. He's big as well, but like they're the nicest guys you would ever meet. And so I'm like, hey, would you be interested in training me? And he's like, yeah, sure. And so he started training me, got me my pro card in less than a year. So I started doing physique. That was new to me. That back when I was competing in 2008, 2009, they only had figure and bodybuilding for women. Now
yeah,
they have all these other different categories. And I'm like, oh, physique's awesome. Like I don't have to be like huge, and I get to do all these like the routine posing. I don't have to wear the shoes, and I get to make it my own.
yeah.
And yeah, I'm so grateful to have him in my life. Like he got me to where I am right now.
That's terrific. That's really cool. Yeah, I women's physique is great because you get to do the routine and show some creativity, and it's not kind of as rigid as some of the heels divisions, I guess you could say.
Yes, and like I I work with guys, so it's like I can't do the feminine kind of thing. Like I love to be like a girly girl every once in a while, but like I can't do all of that, if that makes sense. Like
Yeah,
that's why I do like the braids when I compete. Like that's like my own signature thing. And it's like I don't know how to do hair like that, and I don't have to get up super early either because I get this done like a day or two before, and
uh-huh.
then wake up at like 3 a.m. to get my hair and makeup done. It's like I just have to get my makeup done. I'm like perfect.
Your hair looks great. I like the way it looks. Yeah.
Thank you. I got the purple in it because that was my mom's favorite color. So in memorial of her, that's why I had the purple.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's sweet. Yeah, we today is Mother's Day, I should say. It's May 12th, and you said that your mom had passed away recently, and I'm very sorry about that. Could you tell
Thank
us
you.
what happened or what was the deal?
So she was getting sick all of last year, like the end of the year, and I was getting ready to compete in the Ben Weider Pro show, and that was in November. So I was taking her to some of her doctors in October, and her health was kind of going down a little bit. And then she's like, she wanted to come with me, but I'm like, no, you're not feeling well. Stay home. And then it's a long drive anyway. It's a 12-hour drive. Just stay home, take care of my dogs, and then um, you can come with me to my next show.
Hmm.
And then when I was down there, so I checked in, and my whole training, my mindset wasn't the best. Like it wasn't where I wanted to be, but I'm like, okay, I'm going to do it anyway. I need to do the show. And then I checked in. I was just about to leave to go get my spray tan when I got a call. And she's like, yeah, it turns out it's pancreatic cancer. It spread to my liver. It's terminal. I need to go into palliative care. So I
Wow.
wanted to go home right then and there, but I'm like, I drove 12 hours to get here. So
Hmm.
I'm going to compete and then I'll just leave right after. So I did, but I didn't want to do it, but I did it because
Hmm.
it's a long drive and I was already there.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah. And you work so hard to get on stage too. I mean, you don't want to necessarily lose a chance to get on stage, I'm sure, but I bet that was tough though, especially with her being in such poor health at that time. And
Yeah.
you posted a really sweet on Instagram, and we'll include your Instagram page down below too, but a sweet post about your mom there. So I really like that. So that was nice.
Yeah, like today was a difficult day just because of my first Mother's Day without her. And so like if I like I have I'm gonna actually show you. This is little Indy right here, my little wiener dog.
Yeah. Oh, cute.
So she actually comes to the gym with me and trains with me when I train with Antoine, and I go on the weekend. She just sits there. She loves it. She's like my little gym. Everyone loves her. And then she comes to, like, I was actually going to bring her to Pittsburgh, but I'm like, I'm going by myself. I don't have anyone to like look after her, like when I'm on stage. So like she'll be coming with me to my next show because it's a little bit more local. And she was with my mom every single step of the way. She slept with me and her at the hospital, and even when she went to the hospice.
Really? Oh,
So
wow.
if I didn't, she's like my emotional support dog. I have two other dogs too. They're just they're downstairs, kind of sleeping.
Yeah. Oh, that's sweet though. It's a sweet dog too. Yeah. Oh man, I'm sorry about that though. I'm fortunate my mom is still alive and doing pretty well. I had a 2-hour conversation with her today, and
Yeah, see, you're the best son ever.
and I see her in 2 weeks for my daughter's graduation. So we're really excited about that. So it's high school
Oh my,
graduation.
oh my God, that's exciting. So college next year?
Yeah, she'll start at University of Central Florida in the summer instead of the fall. They admitted
Oh
her for
wow.
summer.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're excited about it.
Well, congratulations. Congratulations to your daughter. That's super exciting.
Thanks. And she had prom last night. So just, yeah, all these milestones. It's like, oh, sweet.
Such a proud dad. Oh my God.
Oh, very proud. Yeah, thank you. Now, I was curious for getting up on stage in the bikini for your first show. Was that kind of nerve-wracking, or do you get nervous on stage now?
Now, not at all. Like I love competing. Like the Pittsburgh show, I opened the show and it's like, okay, like my routines before I used to like I was super nervous when I first started doing physique. And then I have a posing coach, Jodi Boam. She's the most like she's such a fantastic woman. She's done the Olympias. I don't even know how many times. She actually just competed in the past Olympias. She does fitness. She's taking time off right now with just because like her family, like she has a little boy, and then but she is the best posing coach. She's done everything. She's done physique, figure, fitness, like great all around woman, and like so down to earth. Like anybody can go up to her, like, and she knows what she's doing. And if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be able to pose. So so grateful to you, Jodi.
She's great. I like her a lot too. And she's done work with Melanie Horton too, and helped Melanie transition to
Yeah.
women's bodybuilding too. And they're amazing. Both of them are really amazing.
Yeah, like Mel, I see her at the gym quite. So she goes to the gym that I go to as well.
Uh-huh.
Um, and Mel is such a sweet woman, and like her upper body is just fantastic. Like when
Wow.
she flexes, it's like, oh my God, like this woman is like that's like my goals right there.
Oh yeah, she's amazing. She got the shreds going on too. It's amazing. Yeah, she's really, and for I think she's 59 now. So yeah,
Like she does
incredible.
not look her age, and like the hard work, dedication I've seen her put in the gym,
Hmm.
like blows my mind because like you see these young kids and they're just like, oh my God, it's so hard. And then you see Mel and they're just like destroying them. It's like, you are like an amazing woman. Like,
She is. She's incredible. Oh, I know. And Jodi is great too. I liked when Jodi was doing women's physique because, like we said, I like the creativity of the posing routine and get to see the flex and stuff. So I hope maybe she'll do that again.
yeah, because like fitness is great, but it's just so hard on your body. Like, yeah, you're always hurt because you're always like bounce, jumping around, splits, all it. It's like, I can't do that. I can do the splits, but jumping
Oh,
around is like, I don't know. Like, I like to walk places. That's it. I don't run.
oh, the injuries too are terrible sometimes. Yeah, and somebody was saying recently that maybe Missy Truscott, um, and was it Whitney Jones that got injured last year at the Olympia? But because they're so lean, they're maybe more injury prone too, so that kind of makes sense.
100%. Yeah, like that was
Hmm.
such a shame about Misty. Like, she looked great, and like then all of a sudden, boom! It's like, oh my God, it felt terrible because, like, in my opinion, she would have won.
Yeah.
Just like her physique and like routine. Like, I was, I'm gonna be honest, I was a little bit disappointed with how Jodi was placed. Because like her physique was like she got second place in physique, and then they bump her way down. Like, I think that should play a lot more points into it because it is a bodybuilding show. It's not
Yeah,
gymnastics. Like
that's true.
it's great seeing the routines and everything, but I just think it should account for a little bit more.
I
But
agree. No, I totally agree with you on that too. Yeah, Jodi did look good too, and her routine was amazing too with that interesting mask that she had on, and yeah, it was really cool. Yeah, she's beautiful though. Um, so in terms of the Pittsburgh Pro, what I bet you talked a little bit about it, and I bet it was exciting to compete there. But do you have any other shows planned for this year?
yep, I actually have a few. The next one I'm gonna do is the Toronto Pro. That's why I said I'm gonna bring my little indie because it's local. 45 minutes drive there. I'm like, I don't even need to stay in a hotel. This is perfect.
Nice, that's
Um,
terrific. Yeah.
and it's on a Sunday, so I won't have to miss time off work, which is great. Actually, no, that's a lie. I have to leave work a little bit early because we have to check in at 3 on the Friday. But
Oh, yeah.
I'll be doing I'll be competing in the Open and Masters because 35 and up is Masters. I'm like, I'll be 36 this year. This is great. And then there's one in Tampa that I'm going to be doing in, I think it's August or September.
August, yeah.
Can't remember.
Yeah, that's where I'm in Tampa, so I'll see you then.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And did want to compete like overseas, like Spain, Portugal. The one I actually really would have loved to do was the South Korea one,
Oh
but
yeah.
the flight there is very, very expensive. It's like 3 grand just to fly there. I'm like,
Oh no. It's too expensive.
much as I want to go there, and I would love to see the culture and the food and everything. I love like the Korean men are like the most beautiful men I've ever seen. I just want to come and stare at them and
They're pretty amazing, aren't they? Yeah. Um, no, yeah, I understand that. So, oh, but do you think you might still do a Europe show this year or maybe next year?
sorry,
To
the New York.
to do a Europe like Spain or Portugal
Oh,
this year?
Europe. It's still up in there. I might do it. It's either
Okay.
Spain or Portugal, um, back to back. And I was told that I was speaking to the MC. I can't remember his name at Pittsburgh. He's like, yeah, they look for things a little bit different. There, they want like the really deep cuts. I'm like, well, I can bring the conditioning. They're like, yeah. So it's like you might do well. Like I'm still be small, but I can bring the conditioning, and I just really like to showcase that. It's
Yeah, you're really good with the conditioning, I think. You kind of remind me of Susan Graham. I don't know if you're familiar with her, but and she kind of had a comeback recently, but she competed back in like 2015 through 2017 or so, but she was smaller but had like the really good conditioning like you do. And yeah, very she's always impressive. Now she did powerlifting, so she's quite a bit bigger now. So, but I like her look there too. So um no, that's very cool. I think oh, you're probably the MC was Bob Ciccarillo, I think. I, I think he was the MC there at the Pittsburgh.
I, I think so. That sounds familiar.
He's a
Yes.
bodybuilder. Yeah. Yeah, he's a really cool guy too. Now, in terms of, I forgot to check on this, but where did you get your pro card? And I bet that was an exciting moment for you.
Yeah, 'cause my mom, she was actually there for me when I got my pro card, and I got it in Toronto. Um, so I got it last August,
Hmm.
so recent.
Oh,
And
that's terrific. Was
yeah,
that, and then you went, so in November you went to the Ben Weider Naturals, right?
yeah,
That's great. I think I mentioned I interviewed Andrea Alonso, who got her, she won last year and got her first Olympia qualification for this year.
yeah.
So I'm really excited for her. She's awesome too.
Oh my God, and she looked fantastic. Like it just like blew my mind. Like, oh my God, you look amazing. Like so well rounded and just stage presence, like everything, the whole package.
Yeah, she's amazing. She's a physician too. I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think she just ended her residency, so yeah, that's pretty cool. Um, and in terms of the Ben Weider Naturals, what was that show like for you? Did you really enjoy that show? I know it was kind of tough with your mom, but to make your pro debut, that's pretty exciting.
Yeah, it was a good show. Again, like the American shows are, in my opinion, a lot better. Like I don't want to like talk bad about Canada or anything, but like just the
Yeah,
way they made us feel as like the athletes and how it was organized, and it just had a more flow. So I really did enjoy it. I obviously enjoyed Pittsburgh a little more just because it's a bigger show and it was just like the huge stage lights. It was just all about the presentation, and it was, but the Ben Weider one was, it was great. Like it was fantastic as well.
that's great. Yeah, I think as a natural competitor, that might be your best path to the Olympia too, to win that show, you know?
Because it's hard for me to put on size, especially like my line of work. And like I eat like a lot. If we go for all you can eat sushi, I'm gonna out eat anybody that I'm with. I don't care who you are. I go out with big bodybuilders all the time, and they're like, "No way you can out eat me." I'm like, "Yes, I can." Like Zane Watson, he's an IFBB Pro. He has a couple restaurants up here, and I
Uh-huh.
went to his one, and he has this big 14-ounce T-bone steak. I'm like, he's like, "You're not finishing that." I'm like, "Yeah, I am. I'm finishing that." I finished that, ate my sides, and then the guy that I was with, I he didn't finish his sides. I'm like, I'll eat those too. I'm like, just keep it coming. Like the never-ending pit.
Wow, that's amazing. That's just so cool. And we're gonna talk about what you do for a living in a minute too. So I know because that's really unique, I think too. That's really cool though. I think that's amazing. What is your stage weight? Just out of curiosity, like at Pittsburgh Pro.
Oh God, I was 112 pounds. Like,
Wow.
like
And
I don't get big. Like the heaviest I get is maybe like 120, if that. And I'm like forcing food. I'm like, I'm
wow.
eating like I'm probably shouldn't say this, but I eat McDonald's like every single day. McDonald's, they should and like sponsor me. Like I get it day for breakfast, and then like my dogs, they love their burgers and their ice cream is fantastic. And
That's
here in
amazing,
Canada, we have
really.
the grilled chicken wraps. They're so great. They don't have them in the States. I was kind of
Huh.
surprised.
That's amazing. Wow. What's your height?
I'm 5'5".
Really? Wow. Wow, that's amazing. Wow. So your metabolism just is really amazing, right? I mean, but also because of what you do for a living too. No, that's really cool. Now, I did want to ask you, and we talked a little bit about this before, but what kind of feedback have you gotten from the judges? And I know you're going to say size, but I didn't know if there's any other feedback in terms of body parts or whatever that you need to work on and that kind of thing.
Well, from this show, all I got was put on more size. Before it was build your back, your lats, your shoulders. So I'm like, okay. And so that's what I did. Like one thing I take from every show that I do, a lot of people like obviously you want to win, but I don't, I'm not overly disappointed when I don't win because I'm like, okay, how can I get better? What can I do to improve so I can win? So it's just constant growth and development. And you just have to take everything in and it's like, hey, what can I do to be better than it was last time? And that's what I continuously do every time I step on stage.
Great.
How can I be better than what when I was last time?
That's terrific. Yeah. You told me that Natalie Wolf and Jolene Keith outweighed you by quite a bit, and they were your competitors at Pittsburgh Pro, but could you say
Yes.
like how much they outweighed you?
So Natalie was it was just over 45 pounds. And
Wow.
then 35 is yeah, close to 35 pounds. So
Wow, that's amazing. Wow.
I'm like, oh, little Sam, little me, be mouse, but whatever.
Oh no, you look awesome though. I thought you looked great on stage for sure.
Well, thank you.
And like I said earlier before we started recording, I was surprised that you're 35 too. I would have thought you were younger than that for sure. Because
Thank
oh,
you.
late
Moisturizer
when.
and no make. I don't wear makeup, so it's like moisturizer and no makeup. That's
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, you look great. Yeah, the makeup can be kind of rough on your skin, I think, I'm sure.
it like destroys it, and it's like I don't want to have like leather face moccasin mouth, so I'm like I'm just gonna.
I understand. Um, I was curious if there's any advice that you could give to ladies who are, seeking to earn their pro card. I know it takes a lot of hard work and dedication, but even like maybe even get your pro card as a natural, if you had any tips for that.
Like I just don't give up. Like it's gonna take time. It's not gonna happen overnight. You have to put it into all the hard work. You have to put in the dedication. You have to have the right mindset as well. A lot of competitors, they get in like this bad mindset and they go in this like negative place where that's where a lot of I find a lot of bodybuilders will rebound because they're just like, oh my God, I can't handle it, and they'll start like binging, whatever. But everything is okay as long as you do it and you know what works for you. You have to find like a good coach, somebody who's very supportive of you. You need that support system. Like, can't do things like I'm very independent, but you can't do everything on your own because you need help.
Hmm. Yeah.
And just anytime, like every time you compete, what can you do to improve? What can you do to get better? And don't take like what the judges or anybody says in a negative context.
Hmm.
Take that as a learning opportunity. It's like, okay,
Hmm.
I'm going to listen to you. And then when they do see you, when you go back on stage, whenever, they'll be like, oh yeah, they did listen. And you just continuously take it in and just keep growing. Just don't stop. Don't quit.
Very good. Yeah, that's really good advice. Yeah, I like what you said too about the judges. Yeah, you can't take it personally, but they are honestly there to help you and give you good advice on what to improve upon. And I think it's important to ask the judges too.
Yeah, like
Mhm.
definitely ask the judges.
No, it makes sense, definitely. Now, I wanted to skip ahead because we've been burying the lead here, but you mentioned you told me before you work as at a steel mill and you're a carpenter and scaffolder, and that sounds like hard work. But how did you get started in that? And do you get a good workout from it too? Because I bet it's really strenuous work.
Yes, I do zero cardio at all. And everyone's like, you must do so much. I'm like, no, no, I do it from work. So I got into it back in 2016. I joined the Carpenters Union and then they sent me to the steel mill. I did like form work, all this other, like I did framing houses, all that stuff prior, mill work, all this small, tedious stuff. And then I end up getting on with this company, Aluma Safeway. Like they're all over Aluma Safeway. Sorry, they can't be called Safeway because copyright. But
Oh yeah.
they're all over the world and they do
Uh,
scaffolding. And so I've been in Stelco and Hamilton, and I love it because it's like Legos more or less or connects,
uh-huh.
and but big long pieces, heavy steel, and I'm lugging that all day, and then going up all these stairs wearing like my harness, tool belt, and that's about 50 pounds, and the big steel toe boots, and it gets hot.
Wow.
So like that's how. It's one reason why I'm so lean is just continuously working.
Yeah.
And then prior to the show, um, I was working a shutdown. So I was working anywhere from a 12-hour to like 14, 15-hour shift. And then I'd still make
Wow.
time to go to the gym, take the dogs out, and then do it all over again. And so that was just
Wow.
being up right to Pittsburgh Pro. So it was a little bit leaner than I would have liked, but
Sure.
got bills to pay, dogs to feed.
Yes, I understand. That's amazing though. Do you work with any other women or is it mostly guys you're working with?
There is one other woman. She's her name's Leah. She played like rugby and everything, so she's significantly like bigger. Like she has a lot of muscle.
Hmm.
Um, and but it's there's not very many women in the trades, which I love the trades. You get to work with your hands and you get to work with guys. So it's like, I would say it's less drama, but it's not. People, some of the guys, it's like, oh my God, like the crew that I'm on, I have to like, I call it the geriatric crew. They're not like old, but they're older than me, and I kind of have to like keep them in line.
Uh-huh.
Like, okay, let's go. Then it's funny.
That's cute. Did they support your bodybuilding efforts, or did they come to your shows at all?
They obviously won't go to the far ones, but they are so supportive of me. Like like, oh my God, Sam, how'd you do? Like everyone was asking how I did on in Pittsburgh section, like, and they just there's other people like there's some that I really confide in more, and like I'll show them like all the pictures and some like the one guy I call him dad. He's pretty much been like my dad, and we've connected on a whole different level, like father daughter kind of thing. And
Yeah.
he's very supportive with that. He came to my mom's celebration of life too, and so he came with his
Sweet.
wife, and it was family. You become
That's
working with them for like that amount of time that you pretty much become family.
Yeah, I definitely understand. It's kind of dangerous work too, so you got to look out for each other and too. I mean, it just kind of um yeah, I would think there would be a close bond in that kind of situation, I would think. So that's very cool. That's awesome. You're definitely the first person I've spoken with on this podcast who's a carpenter or who's worked at a steel mill. So that's really neat.
Very dirty, a lot of like coke oven dust. It's like you're breathing all this like toxic crap, and then I had so many broken fingers, and I broke my ankle, and I fixed it with duct tape. It's like,
Wow.
and then like burns, like cuts, whatever. Just wrap it up. It's fine.
Do you have like protection for breathing and stuff, or like a
If you have to wear respirators because like the stuff
yeah
will kill you. Um,
yeah
some some areas we have to go on like the SCBA's, like full, like fire mask with the oxygen pack on the back. So
wow wow that's crazy, that's amazing. um in terms of I was one thing I was curious about it. I know your mom was supportive of you, but was like your dad or your siblings? Do you have siblings that were supportive of your bodybuilding efforts too?
well, I have an older brother. I invite him to my shows. He never comes. I'm like, whatever. But so my mom, she always came to my shows, and one of her friends that she worked with, sh her name is Jamie. She always said, she's like, oh yeah, I'm like your other daughter. She always said that to my mom. And ever since my mom, like, she was in the hospital, Jamie came to the hospital like every day, like with her daughters and her husband, and her and I have become so close. I'm like, we're sisters now. So I have taken in like a new sister with Jamie, and then like I love her two daughters and her husband, and we actually went out for ice cream last night. It was it's great to have like that kind of connection. And she came to I guest posed actually um this past Sunday at Mindy O'Brien, who she's an amazing woman. Like she is an Olympian, and she just such a great woman. She's done everything as well. Same like Jodi, she's done physique, figure, and fitness.
Hmm.
And so I was guest posing there, and Jamie came with her two daughters, and they watched me do that, and
Oh,
it was just
nice.
so great to have that support there. Maybe one
That's
day my brother will come. I don't know, but my niece and nephew, maybe they'll come as well. But they're younger; they wouldn't get it anyway. But
sure. Yeah,
whatever. I've
that's
got enough support now.
that's terrific. That's really cool though to have the support, and have them come to your shows like that. And the guest posing, I did see something about that. That's really exciting that you did that. Was that your first time doing guest posing?
Yep. And I just love posing in it. Like I was asking kind of last minute, I'm like freestyle, which I love freestyling because I feel comfortable. I listen to the music. I used to teach spin classes and all that, and I used to
Uh-huh.
freestyle that. So I
Okay.
kind of like listen to music, and I like move to that, and it's just fun. You just really connect
That's so
to this.
cool. I think that's awesome. Yeah, that's really cool. And you're sometimes their guest posers are not, you know, the most conditioned, but I bet you were because you were so close to the show.
Yep.
That's
Like, oh my
awesome.
God, you're so like your butt's so straight. And I'm like,
That's awesome.
but that's my moneymaker because like not many people can get the striations and cuts that I have, which is one
Yeah.
thing that I'm pretty proud of.
Oh, I think your glute's amazing, actually. Yeah. No, I'm very impressed with that. Yeah. Um, Now I was curious, you mentioned Antoine, but is he your prep coach or do you have a prep coach that's different?
Um, Kind of do it like myself
Mm,
with his like guidance as well, because like he tells me to eat something and it's like, okay, I'll eat it, but I'm like, I'm still hungry and I'll eat more and then I'll just add more to it. And it's just sometimes like if I'm stuck working, it's just hard to continuously like eat like what he wants me to eat because I'm not like most the other competitors
yeah.
where they can eat on a schedule. I'm like, I'm out like in the middle of the plan. I'm like, first of all, I wouldn't want to eat anything out there anyway because that's toxic. And I'm like, no
Yeah.
thanks.
Yeah, that's true. I probably wouldn't be so good. Yeah, toxic stuff is not good for you. No, that's cool. And you mentioned about Jodi being your posing coach, which is great. Um, I was curious, what would you say is the most challenging aspect of competition prep for you?
Um, just trying to get bigger
Hmm.
for me personally. Because obviously getting cut is not the issue.
Hmm.
Um, and then just being depleted, especially because of work and then life.
Being depleted, does that make you more prone to injury at work, do you think at all, or is it not?
Yeah, I get tired and it makes my job a little bit harder.
Hmm.
And but now like right now I have tons of energy, which is good.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Now that's kind of you're getting, but you got Toronto coming up though, so
Yep.
um yeah, that's cool. Um and you know, I think your conditioning is just amazing. I think that's kind of your signature aspect, I guess. But how can you give advice on how to achieve such a level of conditioning? And are you going to say, work at the steel mill maybe?
That might help. Another thing that so a lot of people they can't get that mind muscle connection and they can't so for the longest time I couldn't like activate my glutes. I couldn't feel them like what the heck, same with my hamstrings. So
Hmm.
I took that into consideration. I'm like, okay, I'm just really gonna focus on squeezing between sets. And so that helped. And then one thing Antoine got me doing as well. So like say I'd be doing a standing hamstring single leg hamstring curl. I would step back and I would focus on squeezing, activating that muscle. And then
Hmm.
you can feel it when you're training as well. And that will help you when you're on stage and posing and obviously developing the muscle when you are training.
Okay. Oh, very cool. So that really helped you in terms of, yeah, that's great. That's good advice too. Um, we talked about a little bit about you being a natural competitor, but I was curious, why did you decide to stay natural instead of using PEDs?
I'm going to be honest, I don't want to have like I like my skin, I like it clean. I want to still have like that feminine look.
Yeah.
Because like I already have like a square jaw because I'm like big grinder at nighttime too. And
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
I just I don't know, it's more challenging obviously because you have to push a little bit harder. I'm obviously not going to grow as fast. But the overall health aspect as well.
Sure.
Then yeah, maybe one day we'll see. Right now I'm
Sure.
good.
I understand.
I wouldn't be able to do the Ben Weider if I did take stuff, but
Yeah, that's true because they do the testing there and stuff too, right? Yeah. No, that's cool. I was just curious about that. Um, I was curious if you could give us any advice to ladies that are kind of up and coming that are looking for a good coach, uh, in terms of posing or otherwise, prep coach or whatever.
So the best thing to do is find somebody that you can actually connect with. Sure, somebody would have a great track record, but I've seen some of these guys that have like a great track record, and then I talk to a lot of them are like bikini competitors or wellness, and then I hear like what they're going through, and then what these coaches are making them do, and it's like that doesn't make the sport enjoyable. Like that makes you not like it. Where I have someone like Antoine and Jodi, and they're okay, yeah, we'll do what works best for you, and like it's somebody that you can connect with, and then like we talk about everything when we're training, and it's personal.
Sure. That's one thing I've found. There's a lot of ladies that'll switch around coaches a lot, but I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing because it seems like you lose consistency that way. But I mean, I can understand trying to find the right one too, the one that works the best. But I think once you find the right one, you just kind of stick with them,
Yeah, like a lot of them think, oh, they're not helping me get any better. They're not doing this. It's like I'm gonna go them. I'm gonna try. It's like no, just find somebody that you can connect with and isn't gonna like abuse you. Like they'll make you feel good and I don't know, win.
Sure. Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, winning is a good thing. Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Now, I was just curious in terms of Hamilton, do you find that you have a supportive bodybuilding community there?
Well, Pure does, Pure Muscle and Fitness, 100%. Like that's like the big bodybuilding gym. Like all the pros go there.
Yeah. Is that
Then I
near
train
Hamilton?
sorry?
Is that near Hamilton?
Yeah, it takes me like 20 minutes to get there.
Oh, it is.
Um,
Oh, okay.
Then I have the gym that I train at after work. It's called Amazing Fitness. It's like actually Antoine used to train there years ago. It's like a old school like grunge gym, and like I love it. Like I prefer those over like a gym like LA Fitness or Good Life Fitness. You guys don't have a good life, which is good because those gyms all they care about is taking money from the client.
Yeah.
But I don't like those type of gyms. I like the old school steel plates, dirty. Like yeah, this feels good.
I understand that. I like that too. The old school places are better, and I think they probably attract more bodybuilders too. So yeah, no, I know what you mean. Now, I was curious, do you like to show off your muscles in public, or because I know it's cold in Canada, so you probably have to stay covered in the cold months, but
I'm always
uh,
wearing a sweater. Um, but I always like I look like a little. I wear like baggy t. I love big baggy t-shirts.
uh-huh.
Um, I'll wear tank tops in the summer. But I'm always wearing tights. Like I love tights. I work in tights, but I wear coveralls over top. They're
Okay.
just more comfortable. Or track pants. Track pants are comfy. I'm all about comfort. You'll rarely see me wear jeans.
With work, you're probably sweating your ass off, aren't you? Because it's probably pretty hot in the steel mill, I imagine.
Yeah, so you have to wear the fire retardant coveralls. But
Hmm.
in the summer when it's super hot, like I'm just wearing my underwear under there. It's like
Really?
whatever. I've changed in the corner. I don't care. It doesn't bother me, but
I understand though. Yeah, it must get really hot in there, I imagine. Wait, did they give
yeah,
you plenty of water and stuff to keep you hydrated and
tons of water. I'm
yeah.
always looking for freezies and stuff.
Oh man. I was curious, if you were in a leadership position with IFBB, and this is just hypothetical, but what would you do to improve the sport of bodybuilding, or what would you try to do to make the sport better?
Um, I would try and like I'm not gonna lie, women's physique is slowly dying. They're trying to really promote more so like bikini wellness and men's physique.
Hmm.
I get men's physique athletes are uh, they're athletes, but I'm not a fan like at all. Even my mom was confused by it because like they're covering up their legs, like the posing's a little bit weird. Like I love men's classic bodybuilding is my favorite just because the whole aesthetic look. And then bodybuilding is obviously the most fun to watch. And then the 212. And then I'm just would like more women to do it for the right reasons, if that makes sense. A lot of I wouldn't say the pros, but like the amateurs, they do like the bikini and like wellness just so people, it's like, hey, look at me, I'm wearing like a little bikini and these like, and they're making it more of like a sexual thing when it's they're doing posing now, which is a little bit strange, and they have to do like the walk. I'm like, and you're covering up your back. I'm like, isn't it bodybuilding? So don't you want to show off the muscles? But it that's just my opinion, and I would just like to promote more so the women's bodybuilding figure. Like I love figure. Like those women there are fantastic, and the obviously physique, but it's hard to get people more involved in that.
Were you surprised that there are only 3 women at the Pittsburgh Pro in women's physique? Because I was really shocked by that.
Yeah, I was very like, are you kidding me? I'm like, why?
And the other women's physique shows have been very few competitors so far this year. So yeah, as a fan, I am worried about that because yeah, it just makes you worry about the future of the division. And I think it was the St. Louis Pro, the promoters already said that they're not going to do women's physique next year because that was another just 3 that showed for that one. And so yeah, that's not good though. I was worried about that.
I'm just gonna apologize if my battery dies. It's at 10%. Hello? 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 Bueller?
Hey, I'm back. Sorry about that, Sam. Oh,
Okay, all good.
hey, Sam. Sorry about that. I'm back
Oh,
now.
that's okay.
My internet just gave out, so yeah, I'll splice this together. But thank you so much, though. I really appreciate your time, and I'll make sure to include your Instagram and Jodi and Antoine's as well, and include Pure Muscle and Fitness as well. But best wishes to you, and I hope to see you in Tampa too. That would be great.
Oh, I'm 100% coming down because I love the weather there, and my cousin, she's like, oh my God, I want to go there too. I'm like, all right, you're coming with me. So
Awesome. Yeah, you said you were jealous about me being in Florida, so Florida is a nice place to be.
I know I have to go take the dogs for a walk now, and it's cold out, so I have to put on a couple like coats and. Ugh.
Oh yeah, no.
My version of cold is different than most people. I'm always cold.
Oh really? Oh yeah. I would have a hard time living in Canada. I've never lived outside of Florida, so yeah, you can keep that cold weather.
No.
Um, but thanks again, and best wishes to you, and yeah, I'll get this posted soon. But thanks again, Sam.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. It was a lot of fun. Never done a podcast, so this was great.
Thank you. I bet some other folks are going to be reaching out because you're pretty awesome. So thank you.
Thank
Take care.
Have a great night.
Thank you. You too.